Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and I'm here today with set number 76031, the Hulkbuster Smash from Marvel Superheroes, and based on the movie Avengers Age of Ultron. This is ages 7 to 14, has 248 pieces, includes 4 figs, including one that's a big fig, and a super jumper, yes, is included. This was released in 2015, excuse me, and this retails in the United States for the price of $30. Let's get right into the set right now. I'm going to talk about the models before we talk about the figures. First thing I'd like to note is that there were 3 numbered bags for this whole set in terms of building it. So you have 1 bag for this component with these 2 figures inside, another bag that had some of the lower body of the Hulkbuster and 1 fig, and then the upper body was in a 3rd bag with another figure. If you can't see the 4th figure, we'll get to that shortly. And here we have the sticker sheet. I didn't bother putting the stickers on there because in reality, they just say Stark Industries and don't really have much to add on to the set. I mean, it does look a little bit nicer compared to how it is in the movie, which I will get into in part of the review, so spoilers alert way in advance. So you can't be spooked when it happens. Alright, so what we're going to talk about, we're going to start off with this platform. This is intended in the movie to be a platform that would contain the Hulk as he was controlled by Witch Hazel. Doesn't necessarily show that she's controlling him, kind of. I mean, you could in a way say that being over him, they are controlling him, but it's a little hard to tell, and it kind of looks like she put him in this prison and that the Hulk has to break out of it. But it's still, it's still a-okay in my opinion. The prison isn't too much. It is a pretty interesting build, I will admit. It's got some nice pieces used along the bottom to make it shaped and to keep its shape. You also have these panels that can easily fold down, or if you do it from the Hulk's perspective, you just punch them down with his fists. And of course, you can take the Hulk out of there and move him around, cause some chaos. It's a pretty neat little build, and larger than I expected. It is only half of what would normally be here, but as a playset, it still works very well. Now, the other component, as you saw on the back, Witch Hazel is hovering above the Hulk on this little piece on the back. Now, you can use the super jumper, or you can just try to fire with the Hulkbuster and try to knock her down. Well, I'll get more to the super jumper a little later, but here's a quick look at it with the super jumper. Let's see if I can hit her. Well, I hit her, but she didn't quite fall over. But as you saw on the back, there is a little easy mechanism to just knock her down. And, of course, the Hulk can break free. Now, the Hulkbuster is the next big model, and this is actually a really cool model. I like how it uses no stickers. It's one of the pluses I give it because the details and pieces speak for themselves. It's the only printed piece that's on the whole model, and the rest of it are just, shapes well for what it's supposed to be. Now, it does get a little bit lackluster in the back, but it's still not too bad. You have these little hovers that can open up, so you can have it in a hovering position when it comes down. You do have a few open ends here. Not too pleasing to the camera, but yeah, you could still work with it. And I think it was actually a good choice for what LEGO tried to build with this set. I wouldn't fault them too much on that, but I still would have liked to see those covered up or a little smaller. There are several ball joints in which you can pose the Hulkbuster. You have 2 in the arms, or 2 in the forearms. You can have like the fists on each of the hands. Each of the fingers can move independently. And you can make a bunch of different positions for him. Even have those little blasts inside of his hands, so it gets some nice posing even from the underside. And even on the legs, you have 2 ball joints per leg. So you got some nice movement at the ankle and around the hip. The knee is stationary though, just the way that they built it, so that can limit some poses, but you can still get a range of running poses out of the Hulkbuster. Let's see if we can try to, well, some poses. I mean, you might still have to work with balancing, but it seems to hold its own weight. Now, other than that, there are several play features. For example, They have the newer style of stud launchers, which are attached into plates, modified plates that are, and as you saw, can easily fire off. And let's see if we can use this to get Witch Hazel. Now, that works a lot better than the Super Jumper. Well, that's another reason to use the Super Jumper less than other projectile means in LEGO. They also have these two flaps which can come up every now and then depending on how you move the arms, so just be wary of that. And also a few flaps down here which most of the time stay stationary, so it's not too bad, but does give the body some nice shape. You can see a little bit around the sides as far as some of the construction, which again, you could try to hide on the camera if you get the right angles. Now if you open up here, you get to see Iron Man. You can open up further to get your hands in there. You can even move these out of the way to move Iron Man out of here and use him as a figure. I'd have to say this is actually a pretty good construction because most of it is built sideways to make all the studs appear on the front and not on the top. It's actually a very tight but very easy to move in and out build to fit your figures in here. And it doesn't have to just be Iron Man. You could, if you wanted to, you could have any other minifigure in here and still have fun with the figure. Now let's take a look at all the minifigs and big figs together. Here we have the lineup of figs. We have, from left to right, Iron Man Mark 43, the Hulk, Ultron Prime, and Scarlet Witch. I'd have to say this is actually a good number of figures and big figures to get in this set. They seem like key roles for the scene, or at least somewhat relevant to the scene. Not all of them actually seen at the same time, but they are good for the kind of scene you could set up with the set and, you know, in order to play with them good versus evil style. As far as the Mark 43 Iron Man, I can't really say much for his variant because I'm not up on the variants personally, but it seems like Iron Man, it seems appropriate, and he does have two faces on him. We have a calm face on the front and an angry face on the back, which you can switch out on either side. And of course, he has little boosters on his hands and on his feet. I put them on the Super Jumper so we don't damage the feet. As I've heard many times from different people, they are a little bit damaging for the Super Jumper to minifigs. For the Hulk, he is a newer version and looks pretty good. I can't really say, again, much about the details right here and there. I haven't seen it that closely in the movie personally, but I'd say he's a good build. Muscularly, because there's actually not much of a building component to him. Most of this is just one hollow mold right there and there, but he does stick onto regular studs and he looks like the Hulk pretty well. I even like the darker green color compared to the comic book version for the movie adaptation. Ultron Prime has a pretty good appearance, very well detailed, almost more than Iron Man, I would say. Because look at all those dots and lines and wires going everywhere. Even his face is pretty well done, and he does have a newer mold for that area around the head, which you can take off and use on another minifig. And he has a little bit less detail on the back, but it still looks pretty good. And last but not least, we have Scarlet Witch, the only set that has her, and also the only set that has Ultron in his prime form. Now, Scarlet Witch looks pretty good compared to the movie version. I believe she has a few different outfits in the movie, so, you know, this one is appropriate for at least one of the outfits. The pieces used in her hands seem like okay pieces. I probably would have wanted something else, but it's okay. And she does have an alternate face on the back, where you can use it on the front. Overall, this is a very nice set. Let's get back to the set. I'll give my final thoughts. So overall, this set is an excellent value. Even though it's at $30 and has 248 pieces, this is probably one of the cheapest ways to get the Hulk and any version of Ultron outside of the Ultron soldiers, which is not too worthy unless you want to army build them. The Hulkbuster is an excellent build. I definitely had a good time with it in all the different ways it was put together. The smaller portion here for the prison was okay. I still think it's pretty sturdy and has some neat play features to it too. If there was anything I would improve, I've already mentioned the open joints on the back of the Hulkbuster, maybe a little bit of better detail back there as well. And, well, Super Jumper is not the best thing you want to use. From what I've heard and what I've experienced, it's not really a great feature. I mean, I appreciate the attempt, but it can damage Lego pieces, and sometimes I'm just not accurate with it. So, overall, it's a very nice model. I really do like this set. Be sure to check out some more videos on my channel if you want to see more about Lego, Marvel superheroes, and other Lego sets in general. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with more Lego videos. And be sure to check out the Facebook page to see them before they go up on YouTube.